Hello, everyone, and welcome to this podcast, Grow Your Brand with Amanda. And today I have with me author Shelley Wilson. Hello, Shelley.
Hello, nice to see you.
Lovely to see you too. And Shelley is a multi-genre author of over 20 books, which is just fantastic. And we'll talk a bit more about that later. And a writing mentor for new and aspiring authors. She guides her clients through every process of writing and publishing their own books, which is just incredible. Her passion is writing, obviously, and she loves offering guidance, experience, and accountability for her clients and students. Shelley shares a mix of methods, motivational formulas, and accountability strategies through her writing membership, one-to-one mentoring, weekly newsletters, and social platforms. She lives in Solihull, West Midlands, with her three children and loves jumping in her Volkswagen camper van and going on solo adventures. I'm going to find out more about that in a minute, which is just incredible. But before we do, I'm going to ask you my three questions just so we can find out a little bit
Okay,
more about you. So, do you have a motivational song?
I do, and I think the one that I'm going to go with is Gold by Spandau Ballet.
Oh,
So I was 11, I think, when it actually came out. So I'm just about getting into music, but it seems to have been a bit of a playlist for my journey as I've kind of grown up and gone through it. So yeah, definitely picking that one.
it's never disappeared, that song, has it? It's just,
Yeah.
it's been around forever and it just never seems to fade into the background. And I love that. It's just such a timeless song. That's the word I'm looking for.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
That one is going on the playlist. And do you have a motivational quote?
My favourite is Leap and Grow Your Wings on the Way Down. And I
Oh,
live by that very much. I live by that.
not heard that one before. Leap and grow your wings on the way down. I love
Yeah.
that. That is perfect. Ooh, nice. And the best question to ask an author,
The
do
hardest question.
do you read? And what's your favorite book? And I'm fascinated to hear this one.
Well, yes, I do read. Okay, asking me my favourite book is like asking me which of my children I love the most. It's so hard. Um, at the moment, can I cheat a little bit? Okay, so I read all sorts, as you can well imagine. But one of my favourite authors is Adrienne Young, and she wrote Sky in the Deep. So it's a Viking novel which just absolutely blew me away. So I'm going to say that one, but if you ask me tomorrow, it'll be a different different answer, and if you ask me the day after that, it'll be a different.
No, I love that. My favorite one at the moment. No, I've not heard of that, and I will look that up. And my reading list is
Fabulous.
growing and growing. I love that. And if there's a buzz about a book, I have to read it, regardless of what it is. If it's on the New York Times bestseller list or whatever, I have to read it. But no, that sounds amazing. And obviously, someone such as yourself, you've got your own books as well, which are
I
also
know.
on my reading list. But no, thanks for that. It's really interesting. And I once knew someone who worked, he was quite senior for one of the cinema chains. And I asked him what was his favorite film. And he said he just couldn't answer. A similar sort of
It is
thing. He
hard.
just is
It
just
is hard. I
really,
don't think I could answer that question actually if
I
you asked me
don't
what
think
my
I
favourite
could
film
either.
was.
Without, because you feel like you're cheating on one if you say another
Yeah,
one or whatever. So maybe I need to
that's so
make up
true.
questions a little bit more. So tell me, what inspired you to start your business and how has your personal story shaped your brand?
So I guess I accidentally started my business, which is quite funny. I mean, the author side was always there, since I was 8 years old, and I followed Enid Blyton up the magic faraway tree, and that was it. I was absolutely hooked on storytelling. Um, I started to do networking in a lot of the women groups, and I know that we're in a few of the similar groups, aren't we? And I was networking as an author. And I was waving my little books around, going, "This is me, I've written these books." And people started to come up to me and say, "I'd love to write a book. I don't know where to start." And I would go, "Oh, I can help you with that. Just do this, do that, do the other." And my lovely friend Karen said, "You can charge for that information." And I was like, "What? Can you? Don't be ridiculous. How am I qualified to be talking about that?" And she was like, "You've written 20 plus books. Yes, you can." So it kind of grew from those conversations, from attending networks and people saying, "I've always wanted to write a book. I don't know where to start." And then I kind of pieced that together with, well, this is how I did it. And I love sharing the fact that I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, everything that I struggled with, all the heartache, the tears, the sleepless nights, and all of that. I can put it into what I now teach. So I take a lot of my clients are at the very start journey. They literally have an idea and that's it. How do you get that from your head into a physical book? And so my kind of zone of genius, as I call it, is pulling on those threads that people have and helping them piece it together, bring about an outline, a chapter by chapter process, and then support them as they write it as well. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I think people who they know they want to write a book or they've got it somewhere, deep in their soul, but they just don't know. And then when they start to see it unfolding and realize it is actually doable, it's the best feeling in the world to see that light bulb go on in someone's eyes. Is yeah, just brilliant. Absolutely love it.
It's incredible, isn't it? There's so many people in our shared world who either have a book or do want to have a book, and it's quite common. But what also strikes me is there's a lot of people outside that world that also want to have expressed an interest or want, and there's that saying, isn't there, that everyone has a book inside them. And I firmly believe that because as humans, we've got so many stories that are fascinating. And even through this podcast, I've talked to people, America, Australia, all over the world, and I've just been riveted by their story, just their business stories, let alone, their private stories. But all those stories that are just bursting to be told. And I think it's an absolute gift that you have that you can take people on that journey and help them fulfill that lifelong dream.
And it is a dream, isn't it? It was for me. That 8-year-old girl, all she ever wanted was to be an author. But back in the olden days, when I was 8, you had to. It was the big five. It was, there was no self-publishing wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
You had to have the agent, the big publisher. And so I never ever dreamed that it would happen.
Mhm.
But circumstances change. Everything has changed. I started my own journey as self-publishing until I signed with a publisher in 2017. And then they closed this year. And so I'm going back to self publishing. So there are so many options for writers nowadays that weren't there when I was dreaming of being an author. And I think that that's really exciting now.
It is, and it demystifies so much, doesn't it? Because people think that they need to go and get that, this publishing book deal and it's worth tens of thousands. And yeah, self-publishing's opened so many doors and probably made it a more realistic goal for a lot of people. And is that how you do it then? Do you take everyone through the self-publishing route through your business?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, one of the first questions I'll always ask is what is their preferred route? Some have no idea. They know they want to write a book, but they actually don't know the end results or where it's going to go. Some clients will come to me and go, I know I want a traditional contract. So I kind of help them build their book idea, but then I also help them find that publisher and do a little bit of research on that in that respect. But the majority of the people I work with do want to self-publish, which is fine, and I can guide them through that as well. But yeah, it depends on what your end goal is. But knowing that there is that option that you don't have to find that publisher or find that agent, and that you can do it under your own steam, it's you just said it right. It opens doors for people, and I work with clients who are writing fiction as well as non-fiction,
Mhm.
so it's kind of what's their goal? Why are they writing that book? I need to find that out as well so that I can guide them in the right way.
Mhm.
If it's a business book, obviously that might be to attract people into their world, into their business world. So actually, self-publishing, it can be out there a lot faster and
Mhm.
it can be generating that audience for them, rather than having to sort of wait 2, maybe 3 years to find an actual traditional publisher.
So interesting. If I want to learn more about someone that I'm interested in, I will buy their book and then I'll read about the story and the methodology.
Exactly.
It's,
Exactly.
you always have to think, well, how did I arrive in this person's world? But that is usually one of the things that we do. But
Yeah.
no, it's amazing that you can provide that knowledge for a lot of people. And I just love the setup that you have. So what about you? Was there a turning point when you realized that you had to be more visible? Because I'm thinking someone maybe that enjoyed reading, as I did when I was a child. I was pretty shy. Were you shy?
No.
No? Oh, there you go.
I was
I
the
can
loud
see
and
it
leery
already.
one. Do you know, I'm more shy. I'm probably more introverted now than I ever was growing up as a teenager, and that I was such an extrovert. And I think, I don't know, maybe menopause has got a bit of something to do with that. I don't
Changes
know.
everything.
But yeah, I think I'm more probably, is it ambivert when you're a bit of both? And
Okay.
I can be extroverted if I need to be, but then I need to kind of hide myself away for a few weeks and be on my own. But the visibility thing, I think it comes with the territory of being an author. And this is one of the things I do teach with in my membership and with my clients is they have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. They have to embrace any vulnerabilities they've got about that visibility because you're writing a book and it's you and your laptop. And that's all very safe and all very lovely. And it's whatever's in your head is coming out onto the page. And then you might work with an editor. So that's just one on one again. So it's still quite a safe space. Then you hit publish or you pass it on to a publisher and it's out there in the world. And anybody from any country can read your book. And then all of a sudden, it like anyone can get hold of you if you like, they can leave a review. And I always remember one of the first times I think I got a 3-star review, it was a lovely author friend messaged me and said, right, I've just spotted this. Before you spiral and never write another book, go and have a look at your favourite author on Amazon and have a look at their reviews. And it was the best advice I had ever received because I went and found Stephen King. And if he can get, a 3-star review, then I can get a 3-star and live to tell the tale. And so I think my visibility just kind of grew from building that confidence of everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Some people aren't going to like my work. That's absolutely fine. I've read books that I've hated and that have been bestsellers,
Yeah.
on the Sunday Times bestseller list. And I've thought, I don't like them at all.
Mm.
So that really did help me just to be myself, to step out. And I talk about building an author platform all the time. And I know, like, this ties in with what you do, doesn't it? Um, it's so important to kind of just connect with your audience, your readers, and let them find you, get to know you, enjoy chatting with you, love what you read, but also connect with the other bits of you, those behind the scene things. And visibility is key to
Yeah.
that, to growing that author platform.
It's so interesting because you're more dimensional than just that facade of the book. And in my world, if someone gets some PR, the first thing I say to them is don't read the comments because
Yeah.
if you happen to get a feature somewhere, there's this I gotta find a word for it. Something emerges in people, and it's more than being a keyboard warrior. It's judge and jury, and someone may have written a piece about I don't know, trying to think of something profound, how coping with teenagers or whatever. And then you've got all these people commenting on your appearance, on your backstory, on the word vocabulary that you use, and you're just like, come off it, at least comment intelligently. But that's the first piece of advice I say to people. Do not ever read the comments, far less engage. But you're right, going on to Stephen King, all hail Stephen King. If he can,
Yeah.
you know, 3 stars or less, it's kind of putting that perspective on, and I can understand how that would wound you deeply because it,
Yeah.
it's it's everything, especially if you're a new author. But having someone like you to put that in perspective and say, well, you know, not everyone's going to like you, not everyone's going to like your style. Who is it? There's someone. Was it Lisa Johnson? She says that every time she
Mm.
sends an email, someone responds with, I was offended, and someone,
Oh, every time. Yeah.
yeah, every time.
Yeah.
But I think we all need that awareness of that big lens of you're always going to upset someone, you're always going to disagree
Yeah.
with someone, but having that awareness, I think maybe would make it land a little bit easier and take away the sensitivity. She
Yeah.
says, hopefully, because some point, who knows? I might publish a book, but it's the same. Just don't go down that rabbit hole because
Yeah.
you are not going to please all of the people all of the time. But I love
Not
that
at
advice.
all.
I'm going to remember that, Stephen
Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
What other advice then would you give to someone who says, I hate promoting myself?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because if you are shy, if you are that introverted person, putting yourself out there on, say, video, going onto TikTok, for example, would just be the worst thing in the world for them. And I think the advice I normally give is to ask them what they're comfortable with. We we don't need to be on every single platform known to man. We can show up where we enjoy being, I think. I've been backwards and forwards between LinkedIn and Facebook like for so many years, and I've realised I'm a Facebook girl. I'm sorry, but I am. I just find that the easiest platform to be myself on. And so if I was saying the same to, someone who didn't like, oh, I've got to be on Instagram because I've got to do this, that, and the other, and they don't like the visuals, or I've got to be on LinkedIn and be all proper and grown up and business-like. If you are having to force yourself to be something you're not, then don't do it. Absolutely don't do it. And I know it depends obviously on the genre. If you're writing, say, young adult fiction, TikTok and Instagram is probably where your readers will be. So it would be about putting a plan together that works with you as well as promoting your book. So if you don't like being on video, do something different. Do um when you can create almost memes, or you can create images, like you have some, like, I don't know, I'm thinking about my last novel was Floating Solo, which was set on a canal. So I'd take little videos of canals just so that there's a moving image, and then I'd put a quote from the book over the top of it. So
Yeah.
I'm not in it, but
Mhm.
I don't mind being in it now. But that's how I do it if I kind of just needed to be behind the scenes a little bit. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, the biggest advice I'd give is just to show up where you're comfortable, but
Mm.
also where your target audience would be.
Yeah.
But don't force it. Otherwise, you'll never market yourself
Mm.
ever if you hate doing it.
It's such good advice, and you can tell when people are comfortable. And if they're comfortable, you get sucked into their world. And if someone's enthusiastic and buoyant about what they're doing, you're just like, oh, you do get carried away. And then it always makes me laugh. It just cracks me up that everyone talks about the algorithm. Depends on what the
Yeah.
algorithm likes, and it just does. It makes me laugh. And the reason it makes me laugh is because um, I started doing A-level computer science. I lasted a month.
Wow.
And that was probably when I first heard that word, the algorithm. And that was a long, long, long time ago. And now everyone's talking about the algorithm. Like it's just, but that's it. It does change. But what you described, that little moving piece, that little reel, and then something over it. But if you're not,
Yeah.
I do agree with you. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. There's times there's
Yeah.
weeks go by and I just think I don't want to record myself. I will happily do this and talk forever. But if I've got to film
Yeah.
myself on my own, I just
Yeah.
don't like it. It doesn't happen. I like to have a conversation because I'm a chatty gal.
Yeah.
That's where I thrive. I'm happiest, and it's natural. But when it's on my own, it does not come across well. So I think
No,
do,
exactly.
do what you're comfortable with. That is definitely
Yeah.
good
I
advice.
think I do like to push myself, and that's one thing I've been working on, especially this year. I launched my own podcast. I don't have guests, it's just the quickest 10-minute examples of writing or advice or whatever, but I do it from my camper van. And I had to get comfortable. So they'd set the team up the team had set the camera up, and it was like looking down the barrel of a gun because it was so close because I was in the camper van. And it took me forever to get comfortable staring down this lens and just trying to pretend I'm just chatting away. But so I think we've got a lot of bloopers coming, let's put it that way. But
Good.
that's half the fun of visibility, playing
Exactly.
and getting it wrong and having another
Bloopers.
go.
Definitely embrace the bloopers, and there's not that many solo podcasts of mine, and I do need to do more because part of my business I need to kind of demonstrate my methodology and do all of
Yeah,
that. But I'm just like, well, I'm just not feeling it. But for you, because you've got the visual of your camper van and you've got this
yeah,
theme around, I love that because I'd just be like, ooh, where is she today, or what's she doing, or everybody loves
yeah.
the camper van. And I don't know if you've seen that new film of Tinseltown with Kiefer Sutherland in it.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, there's a camper van in that. I was watching it last night and I thought of you. And at one point I was thinking, how many people have they got in there? It's just one of those things that it makes you think of other people, and it's just they're glorious vehicles, aren't they? It's just one of the
Oh,
things
they're
everybody
amazing.
loves.
Absolutely, mate. Do you know, you'd love this one as from a PR point of view. So when I wrote my vampire duology, I one thing I did, I wished I'd done it now, but I thought about it and then never actually followed through. But I wanted to do how many vampires can you get in a VW camper van? And I wanted to get as many people dressed up as vampires as they
Oh my
and try and get them in the camper van.
would be
And I was
amazing.
thinking, like, Guinness World Record or something.
Yeah, you should do that next Halloween. You just got
Oh,
that amazing window, and you could build it up. There you go. There's your PR plan. You could start building
yeah,
it in
absolutely.
August. You get the people will fly in from all around the world to fit into your camper van. That is such. If you've got a book coming up, that's your launch.
Absolutely. I know. Well, I do have to bring that one back out, like the duality. I'm going to bring it back out, so that might, you never know. Watch this space. I might need
Go
you
and
to get some fangs and join me.
bring in a few milk trays. Oh, I love that. But that's it. That story and building on that story and capturing that imagination and that's the kind of thing people absolutely love. And
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of the latest trends or crazes that we all sort of, we jump on because it's funny and and
Oh yeah.
if everyone's doing it, everyone sort of embraces. But yeah, I will watch your space and see what you came up with. That's your challenge for next Halloween. Um, so what visibility channel has moved the needle for you most in your business? Is it podcast, video, Facebook you mentioned? What's giving you the most
Yeah.
impact?
It is a bit of a mix for me. So I obviously got my personal Facebook page, but I do have an author Facebook page where and this is me all over. I love sharing memes. So you go onto my author page, you'll find a lot of memes interspersed with a lot of the book stuff and other bits and pieces. But that I love that platform. I do love that platform. Instagram, I'm hoping to grow. I'm getting I'm learning a little bit more about it, and hoping to conquer that next year. Um, this year, I launched the Campervan Writer Show, which was my podcast. So that's on YouTube. So that actually did better than I thought it would.
Wow,
um,
good.
excuse me, which I was like really pleased at. So I'm going to promote that into the new year and get sort of season 2 and season 3 out. So really, it's been a bit of a culmination of a few platforms. Um, Obviously with my publisher closing down, I've got the rights back for my own books. So they had 13 titles under them and they've just gone. They've vanished off all platforms. So I've got my rights back. So I'm in the process now of republishing those under my own imprint. So that again is another part that I'm gonna be looking at next year. So it's finding exactly which platform is the best to use for the goals that I have. But like I say, I am a Facebook goal, so I'll probably keep going back to that one over and over.
But it strikes me you're just happy to try new things, just get
Yeah,
on with it, not take it too seriously and see if it works or not.
exactly.
I think that's
Exactly. I don't mind having a go. I don't mind failing because if Instagram doesn't work, that's fine. I know not to use that again and I'll go somewhere else. And I think we've got to. We don't know, do we, until we try.
exactly. And if you think about it, because we're from similar eras, imagine being, in the 80s and promoting something. And, you had to pay to get space in a newspaper or magazine and to get that visibility. And now there's so many free resources and even YouTube. You can have your own channel. And I suppose, do you remember Bill and Ted and all of that? What was it? Free Network TV. And, that was its own thing. But now, as professionals, we have all of these tools that are right there that it would just be a crime not to try them and turn it and
No,
give it a go. And I think you've just got to
no,
just embrace it and get on with it. And yeah, I quite like
absolutely.
Instagram, but I think I may use Facebook. I think with Facebook, I had a love-hate relationship. Facebook was always for me very, very close knit family and friends, and I
Yeah,
kept it
yeah,
very personal. And then I had a professional profile, so I was just like, "Ooh, what do I put now?" Because I was just worried. I didn't want my close friends to see all my businessy stuff. I didn't want them to feel
yeah, of
spam.
course.
So I'm sort of in that middle era, so you can create different lists. But Instagram I quite like because I can be a little bit creative and do nice things.
Yeah,
And LinkedIn, I've only just kind of started using LinkedIn, but I'm just like, oh, this is where all the serious people hang out.
I know, I know. Yeah, you've got to be a grown up over there.
Yeah, and I've never put anything silly on LinkedIn. It's always going to be very serious business post. But I think but maybe mix it up. Maybe I should stand out and do a little because my favorite thing to do is, when you've got like the famous stars and it's a shot from a movie or it's a shot of them messing up. And I love using that. Like there's one of Beyonce and she's strutting and I've got, something related to my business with her strutting on stage, and I love that. And then
Brilliant.
Cillian Murphy from Peaky Blinders, where he's given one of his famous, um,
Oh,
looky looks.
classic looks.
Yeah, I love, love, love them. And if you could
Yeah.
put it into your business, it just makes me laugh. And when other people do it, so that's my sense of
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think have fun with it, isn't it? And at the end of the day, whatever you do on your platforms, it's helping people get to know you. The real you, not the polished you or the professional you, but the real you. I did it recently, and a lot of people have seen this, and that it does make me laugh. But on my Instagram, and I think I shared it to my TikTok as well. But I was in Leeds with my parents, and we were going to catch the train to York to have a look round for the day. And I lost them, as you do, and they just vanish and they just wander off. And they were on the wrong platform. So as I've spotted them. So I've just recorded myself and gone. When you reach that age, and you're the kids, you're the kid, and the parents supposed to look after you, and it's all going horribly wrong. And then I pan to them waving at me across from the wrong platform. And I put it together ever so quickly, just put it out there, and it exploded.
Oh
And
no.
everyone now keeps asking me about my mum and dad, which is hilarious. And it's just one of those daft things, like you were
Yeah.
saying, those lovely little memes, those lovely little reels that we laugh at. And if I've made someone smile or laugh out loud, then my job's done. I think that's wonderful, and hopefully they'll remember me. And then when I publish a book, they'll go, "Oh, I quite like her. I'm going to buy that." And
Yeah,
that's how it works.
yeah. Because part of you is ingrained in that book. It's your DNA. I
Exactly.
saw your posts because I was in New York last weekend, and
Oh, really?
and my daughter's studying there, but I saw that you were with your parents. Isn't it funny that you just, yeah, but that was really clever. And it's just, that's your situation, which had gone a complete 180.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. That is so clever. And that's your unique perspective as a writer, because, maybe might wouldn't have occurred to mere mortals like me. But you saw a story, you saw a hook, you saw something completely different. You saw the juxtaposition, if that's the correct
Yeah.
use of that word. But I love that because that comes natural to you, and that's why you're a writer. But no, that is genius, and I'm not surprised that that blew up because it was hilarious. Well done, you. So, do you have any confidence tricks or rituals before you f come up with this wondrous stuff just in the spur of the moment? Or is there anything that makes you feel anything that you do to sort of get yourself ready to feel confident?
Don't think I've got any rituals really. I think I'm very organic with the stuff I do when I'm sharing anything really. I know there's lots of people would jump on the bandwagon for the scheduling, and it does save you so much time, doesn't it? Absolutely. And there is an element of that you do need to do just for your own sanity. Um, but I think being in the moment and just capturing things sometimes can just be the best way of raising your visibility. In that example, just being at the station was perfect. I like you, I love looking at what other people are doing, the funny little memes and those funny stories. TikTok, I can lose hours of my life on TikTok just scrolling. And I know we talked about algorithms earlier. So obviously the more things you watch, the more that kind of content's brought into your feed.
Yeah.
So I purposefully look out for the funny stuff, the cat memes, the
Yeah.
jokey stuff, the comedian. That's what I look for. So I know that my For You page is full of the good stuff that'll make me laugh.
Yeah.
And sometimes I look at something, maybe a trend, and go, I love that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to recreate that in my own unique way. Um, and I have got a notebook where I'll write down if I've spotted something, I'll write it down. And then if ever I'm at when I've got to do a book launch, or I've got to promote that book today, what am I going to do? I can go to my notebook and go, oh, I'll do that. That'll be funny. And it might just be a quote that I'm going to share, or it might be that I can quickly put together a reel or something. I think that's probably the only real process I've got. Just thinking and being open and aware of what's going on around me, that and how I can twist it for my own benefit and use it in my own sort of promotion really.
No, I love
um
that. It's like an inspiration log, and
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
we shall trademark it. But no, exactly
There
that.
we go.
But it's something that, you liked it, it resonated, and you're parking it up. But it means that you're never short of something to introduce when, you need to do something creative. And I love the fact that you've trained your For You page to Bring out.
Oh, absolutely. So important. Yeah.
No, that's really clever, and to have that awareness, and you're one step ahead. Plus, you never run dry of
Yeah.
inspiration. So I really love that idea of that inspiration log. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he I watch some funny things every night before I go to bed, regardless of what's happened in the day, just to make sure that I end the day laughing to myself.
I
And
love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it works, and it just always keeps me kind of jolly and whatever. But he captures like the best of the internet and like embarrassing moments, and then the funny thing is him laughing and reacting to it. I can't remember his name, but it's he reads out what people have confessed, and then he's laughing his head off. But
Oh, I think I've seen him. I think I know who you're on about. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I get a lot of
Anybody
his.
laughing, that's
Yeah,
it. Sets me off. Just genius.
it's just I get a lot of his, but every time it makes me laugh. But I think seeking out those things, it's got to be good for your well-being as well. 'Cause
100%.
it's good for your
Yeah. Yeah.
endorphins and all
We
of
need
that.
more laughter in the world, definitely. Whether we all write comedy books, I don't know, but we need more laughter in the
Oh,
world. Yeah.
definitely. And there it is, what I read once that our mobile phones, we have the ability to control and influence the world in the palm of our hands, but we choose to look at videos of cats. And
Yeah.
that's summed it up for me,
And I
really.
will stand by that forever.
Yeah, that's what we choose to do. But yeah, gotta love cats. I've got two of them. They're the funniest thing ever. So thank you so much. I have loved every single second of our chat. Where can we find out more about you online?
I am on every platform known to man.
New and
But yeah,
emerging as
I
well.
love, I love exactly. I do have a link tree. So what I do in that is I put everything in there, any of my free resources. I've got my podcast, I've got my book links, I've got my business links. And then I just sort of share that and let everyone have a mooch around and connect with me wherever it helps them or wherever they enjoy showing up. Um, but yeah, that's the best way.
Thank you so much. I will put your link tree on the show notes for the podcast for everyone to go and have a look at. And thank you so much, Shelley. I knew this would be a good podcast, and I have loved having you on the show.
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you, and I've loved having been here with you. So thank you for the invite.
Thank you.